I want to show you something. And it's a bit of a prop that I use, but I've used it one time. I just want to use it again to perhaps give you a lesson. Perhaps for the Africans here, you might recognize this, especially the Jamaicans. We use this when we go to the gym. It's called nourishment. What you do, you go to the gym, you lift some weights, you look in the mirror, and then you go home and make yourself a shake. You pour it into a mixer, throw in a banana, throw in some fruit, then you drink it, and hopefully you start to get bigger. I just want to tell you something that happened to me. This is a true story. I went to buy a crate. You can buy a crate of these, a crate of 18. I went into Spark Hill. I went into a shop. You buy a crate of 18. So I said to the man, I'll buy the crate. He said to me, this nourishment, if you drink it, will you get big? I said, of course, yeah, if you go to the gym and you work hard. He said, no, if you just drink it. I said, well, that's not sensible. I mean, who truly believes that you just drink this and then you go to sleep and you wake up and you're covered in muscles? It doesn't work like that. You have to put in the hard work. And that's the kind of lesson I want to give you today, because this is just a supplement. That's what it's called, a supplement. The weight, it's a means to an end. Do you understand? The achievement you want to do is to achieve a healthy body and achieve that mental good condition and spiritual condition and physical condition that I talked about before. Just as we have Iman, faith, it's a means to an end. Meaning, many people will say, I believe, but they don't want to put in the hard work. And this is where the Seerah comes into place. The Seerah is the hard work. If you look at the life of the Prophet ﷺ, it was all about hard work. And he was on a mission. And something I'm told by my teachers, they always tell me this thing, and I want to relate to you. He said, when you sit in front of the people, when you advise them, make them love this deen. Make them love the deen. And I think that's when we talk about our youth and the issues we have with people who are going astray, that's because we've not taught them how to love the deen. And this is the true essence of what the Seerah was about. It was about making people love the deen. How do you make people love the deen? It can only be through having the most excellent character. And this is what the Prophet ﷺ had, the most excellent character. And this is something we seem to misunderstand when he directed us towards prayer, when he directed us towards Ramadan and fasting, when he directed us towards Hajj, and all these things, they were just supplements to do what? To get close to the one who sent the Quran down, and he's the one that created the Prophet ﷺ and all the Anbiya to help us get close to Allah. So it's just a means to an end when we learn the Seerah. And when we do all these things in actions in Islam that we may not think, well, it's not having a real effect. The effect is to get closer to Allah. I made a few notes and I'll just go through something quickly. Now, I don't want to take up too much of your time. But there's something the Prophet ﷺ said when he advised the people. And he always advised speaking to the people at their level. You know, even when he spoke to the companions, the Prophet ﷺ always knew how to speak to the people. My brothers, believe me, I'm one of you and I'm of this community. You would not believe the kind of peoples I meet every week, because I don't usually get the chance to pray here a lot at the masjid, way far in Hall Green Court at Doha. We meet all kinds of people going through all kinds of issues, just living their life, trying to get through this life and trying their best to be Muslims. And you would not believe some of the things they come to us with, even in this month of Ramadan. You see a brother, he'll be reading Quran one day, and I caught him it was just yesterday. He was in a car with a friend and he's smoking, not just cigarettes, he's smoking intoxicants in the month of Ramadan. And you think, well, what has happened? What has happened to drive someone to this misunderstanding about what Ramadan is, who the Prophet ﷺ is, and who Allah is? That's someone who really doesn't understand. No one, brothers, who truly understood Allah and understood his Prophet ﷺ would be far away from loving this deen. And this is the message I'm going to give to you, just the introduction today. If there's one thing I want to pass on to you, and as we go through this life, we meet all kinds of issues and all kinds of problems. And the Prophet ﷺ gave us this pathway that as we go through this life, we'd always have Allah behind us to help us and guide us to the track that is Jannah. You know, one of the things, I'll leave with this because I don't want to go over my time. If you're able to truly reflect sitting here thinking about your purpose in life, because sometimes we think, well, what's special about me? Allah doesn't do anything by chance or coincidence. Allah created you because He wanted you to be here to do what? To recognize Him. To recognize Him and recognize His greatness. The greatness lies in the fact that you know and I know that Allah has no needs. He has no needs of the creation. There's nothing that we can do as a creation that could benefit Allah one iota. And yet He's created us. He's given us the best of role models in the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then at the end of all this, Allah has promised that we will live with Him in eternity in Jannah. Well, it's all take on our part because we can't give Allah anything. So the whole point of these reminders that will come in the next few weeks will be just to remind you about the struggles that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam went through, the sacrifices, so we could sit here and say, I am Muslim, and we could be the defenders of faith. So may this small introduction I've given you today just be a taster of what I'm going to do in the next couple of weeks. And I thank you very much for staying behind and listening to my words. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.